one and all. It's excellent to see such a crowd here this morning. I have the privilege of welcoming you. I'm Dr. Wendy Hilton Morrow, and let me tell you, my connections with Augustana run deep. I am a proud alumna. I served as a dedicated faculty member, and now I have the pleasure of serving as provost and dean of the college here at Augustana. And I am here to welcome you to make history here at Augustana. Let me introduce our current president of Augustana College, Stephen C. Balls, to the podium. President Balls will make a few comments on this important day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilton Morrow, and it is great to see so many people here. We are indeed making history today because presidential announcements at Augustana College don't happen often. It's been 19 years since I was introduced, and I am feeling today the same type of excitement that I felt 19 years ago. Being president of Augustana College is an honor beyond words. It has been my life's calling, and I look forward to the next 6 months. But I also look forward to July 1st, when our next president will be president of Augustana College. And as I look forward to the coming decades at Augustana College, I am more convinced than ever, after meeting the next president, that the best days are yet to come. I am abundantly sure that the person who you will meet today, the 9th president of Augustana College, is the ideal person to lead this precious institution into the future. I know this in large part because I trust the work of the Augustana College Presidential Search Committee, who worked so diligently and tirelessly to find the best candidate to lead Augustana College into the future. Before the next president is introduced, I'd like to recognize members of the Presidential Search Committee. Many of those members of the search committee are here now, and others are joining us virtually from across the country. If you are here in person as a member of the Presidential Search Committee, please stand when I call your name, and please remain standing. Those members of the Presidential Search Committee are John Marabito, a 1980 graduate of Augustana College, chair of the Augustana College Board of Trustees, and chair of the Search Committee. Wiley Adams, a 1982 graduate of Augustana and vice chair of the Board of Trustees. Barbara Lundblad, a 1966 graduate of Augustana and trustee. Mike Gapin, a 1991 graduate of Augustana and trustee. Gail Richard, a 1976 graduate of Augustana and trustee. Lee Sealander, a 1966 graduate of Augustana College and trustee. Doug Parvin, a faculty member in our Department of Philosophy. Dr. Megan Harvard Rockwell, a faculty member in Spanish. Dr. Mary Arno Magelhines, a member of the Political Science faculty. Anna Castro, a 1995 graduate and administrator in our new CLEO program at Augustana College. Kelly Bethke, a coach and faculty member at Augustana, and Lauren Hall, a current student and Rock Island County native. As members of the search committee, and you have exercised your leadership at Augustana College, you made a tremendous difference at Augustana College, and that difference has been made for our students. Before I conclude my comments, let me thank each of you who have served on the search committee. May we give a round of applause for the Augustana Search Committee. Thank you so much. I mentioned that John Marabito was the chair of the Augustana Search Committee and is the chair of the Augustana College Board of Trustees. To be honest, there couldn't be a more strategic, committed leader to this college than John Marabito. John Marabito represents the best of Augustana College alumni. He has served as Executive President and Chief Administrative Officer at Cigna. In his role as Chief Administrative Officer, he has responsibility for the oversight of human resources, enterprise marketing, security and aviation, diversity, equity and inclusion, civic affairs, and the Cigna Foundation. As a quick aside, you may have noticed that the room that we are now in was made possible by John and his wife, Tammy. This is the Marabito Commons. Tammy is also a graduate of Augustana College. John's gifts, talents, and contributions to Augustana are many. At this time, I will pass it over to John, who will be joining us by pre-recorded statement.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, everybody. I'd love to be in person with all of you right now, but unfortunately, work commitments have me traveling today. I'm up in Connecticut, but I can assure you that my heart is right there with all of you in Rock Island, and I sure wish I could be there. Before I say anything, let me add my thanks to the entire search committee who worked tirelessly to get us to this day. I'd also like to thank our search partner, Academic Search, and a special thank you to Sherry Curran, our general counsel, who was critical to a great outcome from the very beginning of this search process. My wife, Tammy, and I are the people we are today because of the 4 transformational years that we spent at Augustana. We believe in the learning and growth that happens in small groups, both inside and outside of the classroom. We believe a liberal arts foundation is ideal preparation for a fulfilling career and, more importantly, a joyful life. Like many of you, I know the future of colleges like Augustana depends on visionary leadership, and that's why I feel especially honored to have led the effort to find our next president. Let me tell you, this was a tough job. We started our earliest planning close to 3 years ago, and the process really began to heat up in January of this year when President Balls announced his retirement. Through the process, we reviewed extensive materials from over 100 qualified people who showed interest in being the next president of Augustana College. We started extensive interviewing in September. Some of that was virtual, some was in person, and of course, we had multiple interviews with a number of people. We expected great interest from great people, and happily, we ended up being really just totally blown away by the quality of the leaders that this position attracted. And this has everything to do with Augustana College's standing as a leader among private colleges in this country, and especially in the Midwest. The number and quality of interested candidates far surpassed typical expectations. Now, big numbers can sometimes complicate aspects of a search, but it was enormously satisfying to see the interest and to realize how many people wanted to lead this complex organization in these very complex times demonstrates just how strong and desirable Augustana College really is. In November, the search committee met with the Board of Trustees to offer a formal proposal and nominate one candidate to become the next president of Augustana College. The board unanimously accepted our recommendation. So the hardest work is done, and it's time to celebrate as we introduce the person who was unanimously chosen to lead Augustana College into a bright and bold future. So, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we are proud to introduce you to Dr. Andrea Talentino, who beginning in July of next year will serve as Augustana College's 9th president. Please give Andrea a hand. Dr. Talentino will be coming to Rock Island from Rochester, New York, where she currently serves as provost of Nazareth College, the institution that she has served since 2017. Before Nazareth, she served as the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts at Norwich University in Vermont. And before that, she was Associate Dean at Drew University in New Jersey. She's also held positions at Tulane University, Princeton, and UCLA. She earned her bachelor's degree in political science at Yale before completing a master's and doctorate in political science at UCLA. She also holds a second master's degree, having earned an MBA with a concentration in organizational leadership at Norwich University. There's many important factors that stood out to the search committee about Dr. Talentino, which makes her the right person to lead Augustana at this critical time. First, Dr. Talentino has a record for innovation, something Augustana is known for and champions. As an institution annually recognized by U.S. News and World Report, continuing to have an innovative leader is critical to our future. Our leader also has to be strategic and have the ability to put strategy into action, to execute. Dr. Talentino has demonstrated these qualities. Her commitment to initiatives focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion also matched what the search committee knew was a necessary quality in our next president. This was really critical. Very importantly, Dr. Talentino possesses a genuine interest in serving students. Our committee saw her as someone with a deep desire to create an environment where students feel both supported in their endeavors and stretched to reach those goals that are just beyond the horizon. Dr. Talentino demonstrated to the committee that she's someone who can connect with the college on the highest levels and not be daunted by hard work. We felt sure that she has a desire to embrace the values, the principles, and the beautiful traditions of our institution, while also fully understanding the challenges facing private colleges in 2021. Relationships are also critically important. Augustana's strong foundation is based on thousands of personal relationships. Dr. Talentino is a person who will commit herself to connecting with the Augustana community, including our alumni around the world. Finally, we see her as someone who is committed to community. She's eager to know and embrace the Quad Cities community, and she will help uphold Augustana's commitment to our hometown area. In short, we're proud that the next president of Augustana College is a scholar, a teacher, and a mentor for students, an advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion, an innovator, an engaged citizen, a strategist, a person who can appreciate the beauty of Augustana while managing the complexities. And lastly, a person who will continue to strive to make Augustana distinctive among private colleges in our country. It's my honor to welcome to the podium Dr. Andrea Talentino, the future president of Augustana College. Congratulations, Andrea.
Thank you very much, and it's super exciting to see such a full house. Good morning, Augustana. It's great to be here. I also want to add my thanks to the selection committee. Especially when I heard it, it's hard no matter what. But when I heard how many things they had to sort through, and I know how long the letter was that I wrote, they did just an amazing job, and I know that's intense time. So thank you to them. I want to thank all of you for being here, and also our streaming audience as well. Friends who are on that audience, and so I appreciate them being here. I want to acknowledge the great leadership of Steve Balls and his partner Jane. I just know they've done amazing things. Augustana, as I've spent time over the last few days and even before that talking to Steve, talking to Jane, talking to people about what they've done. I mean, it's clear that their 19 years have been extraordinary and that there are some very, very big shoes to fill. So thank you, Steve. I also want to give thanks to my family. They're not here today, but many of them are watching, and hopefully my kids aren't watching because they're supposed to be in school. But they have been very supportive. We came out for a quick trip. They really loved it when we visited, and that was kind of the clincher for me. So I know a lot of you are asking what drew me here. The easiest answer, I think, is that I love the mission.
Quote, "To prepare students for lives of leadership and service in a diverse and changing world." I didn't know it early on in my career, but I really care about being at a values-driven organization. I care about being at a place that's thinking about the development of the whole individual and conscious about its role in preparing people to make society better. When liberal education was first conceived in this country, one of the key reasons for advancing it was that it ensured the development of good citizens, citizens who could contribute to society and care for their country, and never have we needed that more. We do live in a diverse and changing world, and we see more and more that the circumstances of that change are very unsettling. And that's why I believe that Augustana College is more important now than ever, because its essential purpose is to push students to think deeply, question their beliefs, be open to different perspectives, and prepare to lead in ways big and small. Lots of institutions talk about that, and many institutions talk about a commitment to building leaders. But in my view, precious few institutions show a willingness to truly ask, how do we lead in a way that drives social justice, diversity, and meaning? That has been a motivating question for Augustana for decades. You heard John talk about it on the video. Who wouldn't want to be part of this? I also value the sense of community that is so palpably at the center of this institution, and that honestly I felt even more in the last 48 hours since I've been here. My family felt it too when they came, and they appreciated the interest in connecting and valuing different cultures and perspectives. Both of my children are adopted, and we started the adoption process. The social worker asked us what we wanted our child to look like. I thought that was a very strange question. I said, "What do you mean?" And she explained that many families want their children, their adopted children, to look like them, have a certain eye color, a certain hair color. My husband and I had never talked about this, but I knew in an instant what my answer was. I said, no, I don't want them to look like me. And in fact, I want them to look as unlike me as possible, because I want our family to represent how I understand the world in all its diversity and difference, and say something about how I view and value connections among people, places, and perspectives. That interest has been reinforced by my international experiences, where I've seen time and time again how commitment to others matters. At several times in my life, my personal security has been entirely dependent on the kindness of strangers. I was in a car that got stuck during the rainy season in the deep countryside of Senegal. I was thrown off a bus in wartime Bosnia on a remote road with no lights, and no buildings anywhere. I had a severe allergic reaction in the rural areas of Cameroon. In every case, people I didn't know helped me. They didn't stop to comment on the color of my skin or the language I spoke or ask me about my religion or my beliefs. No. They waded chest deep across a flooded road to bring me food. They carried my suitcase a mile to the nearest village. They took me to a rural clinic and waited for as long as it took to get me assistance. In our busy world, we sometimes forget the value of connection and the reality that we all depend on each other. I don't think that is forgotten here, and my children in particular, after spending a day, believed that it isn't forgotten. When we got back home, our current home, people asked them what they liked, and every single time they answered the people. One other thing I particularly love, and some of you in this audience have heard me say this more than once, so I hope I'm not too boring, is the idea that extracurriculars aren't extra at Augustana. That really grabbed me because it's so central to my own philosophy. Discovery can't happen without exploration. Transformation can't happen without being tested. And most of all, new ideas can't come without experimentation. That's what I value, and that's what I want to build and enable for students, faculty, and staff. Students are certainly why we're all here, but we are a learning community, and that means that all of us together should be exploring and transforming, developing ourselves as we develop others. I got the sense that these were values that you also shared, as expressed through your commitment to passionate curiosity and using education to bring joy and purpose. That's an idea that's considered a bit old-fashioned these days, because I know the focus on career success is important to higher education. But the pursuit of knowledge as a value that motivates and develops us is also important and should never be forgotten. The other thing that really drew me here is excitement about the next steps in Augustana's future. You are an innovative and bold community, one that seems willing to think about the challenges in higher education and consider how to meet them. We'll make choices about that together, but I can tell you a few things that are important to me. One is an unwavering commitment to making the student experience as strong as it can possibly be. I don't see that experience as two parts, one that happens in the classroom and one out. I see the experience in its totality, and I see all of us as educators in some way. Everything that students do on campus, they should be growing, learning, and changing. Whether you educate in a classroom, on an athletic field, in a res hall or dining hall, or through some other office, students are learning and growing in every interaction they have. And that experience in its entirety is what we need to keep strengthening. Second is a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our society is built on inequities. That is a fact. Augustana should be a place that begins to address those inequities, both by confronting the ways in which they shape our own community and by preparing our students and alumni to confront them when they engage outside the campus and long after their time here is over. That means asking hard questions and realizing uncomfortable truths. It means accepting that some of us have do benefit from biased structures. It means recognizing that we need to change our minds and our habits. It means acknowledging that we are responsible for making inclusion happen. It's not the job of those coming to our community. But if we intend to produce leaders, and if we believe that a crucial part of this institution's mission is to advance social justice, we can do no less. And we need to ensure that Augustana is accessible to students of all types and prepared to support students of all types so that they can be successful here and beyond. The third thing I care about is preparing students to engage in their life beyond Augustana. I won't use the term career readiness because that seems too limited to me. Being ready is not a static state that can finally be achieved. We're always growing, learning, improving, and changing. Careers take twists and turns. Opportunities open and close. What we thought we wanted to do may not be what most motivates us over time. And our contributions will extend far beyond the business world and will impact our personal and professional lives and relationships in multiple ways. The arc of what is meaningful to us will extend beyond our specific career, and our career itself may be multiple, plural careers. To prepare students to thrive in that world, we need to emphasize partnerships and opportunities in the Quad Cities, but also beyond the immediate region. Having strong connections with businesses and organizations of all types will provide students with room for exploration in a way that complements and extends what they learn in formal educational settings and give them the chance to test themselves and their interests. Being a good partner and having good partners is essential, and so our ties to the community need to be strong. There's much more we'll talk about over time, and you will teach me much more about what is important to you in this institution. Don't hesitate to tell me what I need to know. I am so excited and honored to be here. These last 48 hours have confirmed even more for me how special Augustana is, how close your community is, and how fortunate and honored I am to be part of it. And I look forward to working with all of you to continue to make Augustana great.
To close this morning's program, I have a few comments. First, I'd like to acknowledge Diane Gustafson Hill, class of 1966, who was also a member of the Presidential Search Committee. Congratulations, Dr. Talentino. We are delighted to have you here and so pleased that you will be joining our community on July 1st. When we greet prospective students visiting our campus, we offer them a warm welcome as they get to know us. When alumni return to Augustana for reunions and other occasions, we welcome them home. Today, we welcome you here as a prospective student and also welcome you home. Let me also add our warm welcome to your husband and children. We're tremendously pleased and can't wait to welcome Tom, Lucian, and Julia to the Augustana community and to the Quad Cities. We are impressed and in awe at your accomplishments. We're grateful for you, and we're inspired by your energy and your vision, and we are eager to build to advance your vision and implement your vision for Augustana College. I believe I can speak for many in this room and well beyond those who are joining us virtually when I say that even before you move to Rock Island this summer, we're here to support you. We will continue that celebration on July 1st, 2022, when you officially become the 9th president of Augustana College. In the short term, I wish you a joy-filled day today. I know there are several small celebrations planned for you, but let's start with a celebration for all of us, with cake. Guests, on your way out this morning, please take one of the special cakes that are individually wrapped towards the entrance of the Peter J. Lindbergh, MD Center for Health and Human Performance. Guests, take that piece of cake on your way. Media friends, you get cake too, along with interviews. Kirby, Stockwell, Wilson, and Carrie Rush are both available and will help facilitate any interviews. Please let them know what you need. This officially concludes our event. We hope you have a bold, bright day, and how about one last round of applause for the 9th president of Augustana College, Andrea Talentino.